Social finance assistance programs in Malaysia, including zakat, wakaf funds, scholarships, and welfare schemes, are crucial in reducing financial barriers and promoting equity in higher education. Student satisfaction with these programs depends on transparency, service quality, perseverance, and accessibility. Yet, past research often overlooks this non-financial dimension. These studies, conducted among 250 Malaysian university students in the 2025 and 2026 session, investigates how these factors influence satisfaction. The finding will provide valuable insights for policymakers, universities, and Islamic social finance institutions to design aid schemes that not only meet financial needs but also foster trust, inclusivity, and long-term social progress.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Iqmal bin Sekak. So this chapter review previous studies related to university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. So based on the literature, 4 independent variables were identified, namely transparency, service quality, perseverance, and accessibility. So these variables are expected to influence the dependent variable, which is university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. Based on previous studies, Arifin ETL 2024 found that educational financial assistance helps reduce student financial burden and support their educational. So, and Govers and Ignacio 2023 also reported that students who were satisfied with financial aid services experienced less financial stress and better academic experiences. And also Putra and Rahman found that scholarship program improve access to higher education, and this finding show that the effective financial assistance contribute to higher student satisfaction. Next is transparency. So based on previous studies, Arifin ETL 2024 found that transparent government and proper management improves student trust in financial assistance program. And Sabri ETL 2021 also found that My Ihsan online system improve transparency by providing a more systematic and efficient application process. Therefore, previous studies suggest that higher transparency lead to higher student satisfaction. Next is service quality. So based on a previous study, Govers and Ignacio 2023 found that responsive and reliable financial aid services reduce student financial stress and improve their overall satisfaction. And Sabri ETL 2021 also reported that faster processing through the My Ihsan system enhance student experience. Therefore, better service quality is expected to increase student satisfaction with social finance assistance. Okay, perceived fairness. Based on previous studies, Jalil ETL 2024 found that students with positive perception of financial assistance were more likely to appreciate and accept the aid provided. And Johari ETL 2024 also highlight that distributing financial assistance fairly based on student needs strengthen trust in the institution. Therefore, perceived fairness has a positive influence on student satisfaction. This is accessibility. Arifin ETL 2024 found that accessible financial assistance program help more students receive educational support. And Sabri ETL 2021 also reported that the online application system made the process easier and reduced processing time. Therefore, the previous studies suggest that better accessibility contribute to higher student satisfaction. Okay, so the hypothesis development, H1 is there is a significant relationship between transparency and university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. H2, there is a significant relationship between service quality and university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. And H3 is there is a significant relationship between perseverance and university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. And H4 is there is a significant relationship between accessibility and university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. Okay, next is a conceptual framework. So we have a 4IV independent variable, which is transparency, service quality, perseverance, and accessibility. And our dependent variable is satisfaction, which is university student satisfaction with social finance assistance.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Amirul Muhammad Isa, and I will be explaining about the research methodology for our study. So for this research, we adopted a quantitative cross-sectional survey designs. This approach was chosen because it allows us to collect numerical data from a large number of respondents and analyze the relationship between variables in systematic way. So the data were collected in an online questionnaire developed through Google Forms, and the questionnaire was distributed through online platforms such as WhatsApp, Telegram, and social media. In total, we successfully collected respondents from 256 university students. So the target populations for this study consisted of university students who have received or applied for social finance assistance, such as zakat, scholarship, educational support, and other financial instruments. To obtain the respondents, convenience samplings is used because it allows us to reach students easily accessible and willing to participate in the survey. And the questionnaire consisted of 3 sections. Section A collected demographic information about the respondents, and Section B measured the 4 independent variables, namely transparency, service quality, perceived fairness, and accessibility. Finally, Section C measured the dependent variable, which is student satisfactions with social finance assistance. And all items measured with 5-point Likert scale, which is from strongly disagree to strongly agree. Yes. So after data collections, the responses were analyzed and using SPSS. Several statistic analyses were conducted: descriptive statistics, reliability analysis, Pearson correlations analysis, and multiple linear regressions analysis to examine the relationship between the variables and determine the factors that influence students' satisfactions. So that concludes the research methodology for this study. Thank you.
Next, I will present 4.0 data analysis and findings. The collected data was analyzed using SPSS, applying both descriptive and inferential statistical techniques. Descriptive statistics were first used to summarize respondent demographics and general patterns, providing a clear profile of the 250 participating students. This step ensured that the sample was representative of Malaysian university students who had received or applied for social finance assistance. Inferential analysis was then conducted to test the 4 hypotheses developed in the study. Correlation analysis examined the strength of relationship between transparency, service quality, perceived fairness, accessibility, and student satisfaction. Following this, regression analysis was applied to determine the significance of each factor in predicting overall satisfaction. The findings revealed that all 4 variables, transparency, service quality, perceived fairness, and accessibility, positively influence student satisfaction with social finance assistance. However, the strength of influence varied. Transparency and perceived fairness emerged as the strongest predictors, showing that students place high importance of clear communication, accountability, and equitable distribution of aid. In contrast, service quality was found to be relatively weaker, reflecting challenges such as delays, limited responsiveness, and administrative inefficiency in financial aid office. Accessibility also contributed positively, particularly through online systems that made application easier, but its impact was moderate compared to fairness and transparency. Overall, the result confirmed that student satisfaction is most strongly driven by fairness and transparency, supported by accessible processes, while service quality remains an area requiring improvement. This insight highlights the need for university and social finance institutions to strengthen service delivery while maintaining fairness and openness in financial aid management. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. For Chapter 5, I will discuss the finding of this study and explain how the result address the research objective and hypothesis. This chapter focuses on how 4 factors, namely transparency, services quality, perceivableness, and accessibility influence university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. The discussion is also supported by previous studies to compare whether our findings are consistent with existing literature. Moving on the discussion of finding, the SPSS results show that 3 variables significant influence student satisfaction, which are transparency, services quality, and perceived finance. However, accessibility was found to be insignificant in the regression analysis. Firstly, for the transparency, the finding indicate that it is the most influential factor affecting student satisfaction with a beta value of 0.371. This means that students are more satisfied when information regarding eligibility requirements, application procedures, and form distribution is communicated clearly and openly. The correlation result is 0.700 also show a strong relationship between transparency and student satisfaction. These findings are consistent with previous studies which highlight that transparent management and clear communication help build trust and confidence in financial aid system. Therefore, hypothesis 1 is accepted. Next, services quality also has a significant positive effect on student satisfaction with a beta value of 0.146 and a p-value of 0.043. This suggests that students are more satisfied when they experience efficient application process, responsive staff, and timely services delivery. Although its influence is lower compared to transparency, services quality still plays an important role in enhancing student overall experience. Therefore, hypothesis 2 is accepted. Lastly, perceived finance is the second stronger predictor of student satisfaction with a beta value of 0.239. The result indicate that students are more satisfied when they believe that financial assistance is distributed fairly, equally based on genuine needs. The stronger correlation value of 0.636 to support this relationship. These findings are in line with previous studies that emphasize the importance of fairness and social justice in financial aid distribution. Therefore, hypothesis 3 is accepted. In conclusion, the findings show that transparency, perceived finance, and services quality significantly influence student satisfaction with social finance assistance, with transparency being the most influential factor among all variables. That's all for me. Thank you.
Next, I will discuss the finding on accessibility and student satisfaction. The results show that accessibility did not have a significant influence on student satisfaction in the multiple regression analysis, even though the Pearson correlation analysis indicate a positive relationship between the two variables. Therefore, hypothesis is for not support. This suggests that students may view accessibility as a basic requirement rather than a key factor that determine their satisfaction. Moving on to the implication of the study, the finding provides several practical implications for university, policymaker, and social finance institutions. First, transparency was identified as the most influential factor affecting student satisfaction. Therefore, institutions should ensure that information regarding eligibility, application procedure, assessment criteria, and fund distribution is clear, accurate, and transparent. This can improve student understanding of the process and strengthen their trust in the financial assistance. This study has several limitations that should be acknowledged. First, it used a convenient sampling technique, which may limit the generalizability of the finding to all university students in Malaysia. Second, the data were collected using self-administered online questionnaire, meaning that the responses were based on student personal perception and experience, which may be influenced by individual bias. In addition, the study examined only 4 independent variables, while other important factors such as trust, communication, effectiveness, and the adequacy of financial assistance were not included. Finally, the reliability of the service quality construct was relatively low, so the finding related to this variable should be interpreted with caution. So, based on this limitation, several recommendations are proposed for future research. First, future researchers should consider using probability sampling instead of convenient sampling to obtain more representative and reliable results. They are also encouraged to include a larger and more diverse sample from different universities and regions across Malaysia. In addition, future studies should refine the questionnaire item and adopt established measurement scales, such as CIRQUAL, to improve the reliability of the service quality construct. So, in conclusion, this study successfully achieved its research objective by examining the factors that influence university student satisfaction with social finance assistance. The findings show that transparency, service quality, and perceived fairness had a significant influence on student satisfaction, while accessibility was not a significant predictor in the regression model. So overall, this study provides valuable insight for university and social finance institutions to better understand the factors that contribute to student satisfaction. It is hoped that the finding and recommendation of this study will support future research and help improve the effectiveness of social finance assistance program for students. So that's all for me. Thank you.